Hi, I'm Dan Kline, Editorial Director for It'sRelevant.com, and I'm here with Marti Etter, Executive Director from the Ballet School of Stanford. Marti, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you, Dan?
I'm doing well. So, wow, busy weekend for you
Very
guys.
busy weekend. It's great.
Now, before we get into your next event, tell me about the Young Choreographers Festival.
That was fantastic. We did that last night at the Palace Theater. It was the first time. Hopefully it will be an annual event, and I think it should be. Last night went really well. We had 16 young choreographers ages 13 to 18 who all chose their music, chose their dancers, rehearsed their dancers, did all the paperwork, just put the whole program together.
You can be a choreographer at 13? There's no schooling? There's no...
The schooling is trying it. You know, the schooling is getting out there and doing it, like lots of things. These are, most of the young people are associated with a dance school and had encouragement of their teachers. We had two of our students who did pieces, and they had certain requirements, length of time, but they could choose any type of music, any style. We had live music on one of our pieces. It was our guest choreographer's piece. So it was a great experience for them to really learn how to work with their peers. A lot of skills that they'll use all the time, whether they become choreographers or not. It was great for them to try it.
Now, is that the challenge, finding opportunities and places that, you know, kids can sort of apply these skills?
Oh, I think so. I think it's, particularly with ballet, but I think all dance forms, it's all about classroom and classroom and classroom, perfecting and perfecting your art. So finding a place where you can show it that's appropriate, that's affordable. This, by being produced by Stanford Center for the Arts, meant that we could do something in the Palace Theater without taking on all the expenses ourselves, which a school would normally have to do. So this way it was spread amongst everybody. The Palace produced this, and they did a great job.
Now for the kids, is that the equivalent of, like, I don't know, getting to go to Carnegie Hall, or being on the big stage?
It's the biggest facility around here. Carol Bryan is their education director, and she works really hard at trying to make sure that the young people get opportunities like this. She does lots of programs in the summer, which I know you've covered before.
Absolutely.
And that's what it's really about, is trying to have students try something new, develop the confidence, the poise. It just makes everything they're going to do in the future easier. You know, giving a high school report is not a big deal when you just performed in front of 1,500 people at the Palace Theater. So it's great.
So now you have another big event coming up. Take me through Next Generation and sort of what it is and how all the groups came together.
Okay. We've been working on it for almost a year, trying to put together a performance that would be local youth arts organizations. And so we started with a small group of nonprofits that have been here for quite some time, started talking about how could we all join together and not have it be a talent show, but have different organizations collaborate together. And that's what I think makes this really special. This doesn't get to happen because of performance space, but also the rehearsal time, coordinating all of these groups. We're working with young artists from the Lumina String Quartet, and the Lumina and the Ballet School commissioned a orchestrator to do La Boutique Fantasme, which is normally a full orchestra, to a string quartet. And so their students will play and our students will dance. So we have their 4 students who have been working on this piece of music, and our dancers who have been rehearsing, and now for the past few weeks we've been bringing them all together. And that's great. They get a chance to see other young arts students, what they do, how hard it is, appreciate each other, and get to work together.
Now, does that sort of commingling lead to, like, the kids doing projects on their own with artists from other disciplines, or?
I think there was a lot of enthusiasm about that. The same with the Young Choreographers Festival. There were so many students who were a little nervous to do it the first time, but now that they participated as a dancer or as an audience member, they're saying, oh, I want to do that. And I think Next Generation hopefully will have that same effect, where these young musicians will want to work with dancers. We've got the Stanford Young Artist Philharmonic, who's going to be performing along with the Stanford High's Madrigal Singers. So again, trying to bring different groups together to appreciate each other and the amount of work that they do. And I just think for the audience, it's going to be a real celebration of young people and young artists.
Now, where does this lead for your, we share the same building, for those of you, we're at Old Town Hall. And I see dancers of all types, young kids, super athletic kids, maybe less athletic kids. Sure. Where does it lead to them? Do they dance into college? Do they?
there are many paths they can take, and as they get older, they start making those choices. So at age 3, they're there to have a great time. They start to learn, learn musicality. They start to learn ballet manners. All of that sort of very basic information. As they get older, it becomes much more specific, and as ballet, it becomes incredibly specific to students who decide, really when they're around 9 or 10, is this my passion? Do I want to be doing this 4 or 5 times a day, a week? Coming up, or do I have a lot of other interests? So then they start making that choice. Some students may decide that this is one of the things they'd like to study, and they're doing choir and horseback riding, and they come 3 times a week, and that's plenty. Other students in high school are here 5, 6, 7 days a week because they've decided this is their passion. Some of them will become professional dancers. Some of them will continue to dance in college. And all of them hopefully will be young people who love the arts, support the arts, and become audience members and have something that was a passion for them when they were in school.
Now, have you had dancers go on to become professional?
We have, and we're very proud of them. And occasionally some of them will come back, either just to take class, to say hello, to come back and perform with us, and that's very exciting.
Now, is Stanford in general, I see all sorts of arts events going on, is it a supportive arts community?
I think it's a very supportive arts community. I think that the tone has been set that the arts are part of what makes Stanford very special. And so they've been supported through the city's cultural program. They have a grant that they give each year, and all the nonprofit arts organizations are eligible to apply. And then that is granted by the city, and that just, in some ways it's the money, because we all as nonprofits need the funding, but it's also showing that the city really cares about the arts and realizes what we bring. You've seen it downtown, when there's a performance, when there's something going on, the restaurants are more full, the parking lots, everywhere. So I think what we bring to downtown is really important.
Is there anything we don't have that you'd like to see in Stanford?
Well, one of the things we're missing is a smaller venue. The Palace is wonderful with 1,500 seats, and it's great when you can do something that will approach that sort of audience. It would be wonderful to have something that maybe was a smaller, so if kids decided they wanted to get a group together and do something, where can they do that? And there isn't really something like that downtown.
Do any of the schools have facilities that could work for?
They do, and organizations.
I know it's difficult to get access to schools.
It has its own schedule and its own issues, but a lot of the arts organizations do use the school. Last year we performed with the Stanford Symphony, and they do a young artist program where they bring in all of the 4th and 5th graders in Stanford, and they do that at West Hill High School. The Young Artist Philharmonic, I believe, is performing at Trinity. So a lot of the schools get involved because they know this is great for their students, and students who are involved in the arts do better on their SATs. There are academic reasons as well as artistic reasons to having students involved in the arts.
Now, Next Generation, as we close up here, it's December 2nd at 7 p.m.?
December 2nd at 7 p.m. There's a $5 student ticket, so I'm hoping that all of these students will have their friends there, parents who students study music, or they want them to, or their kid is saying, why do I have to practice so much? Bring them to something like this. They'll see what the future can bring. There's special senior tickets. We'd really love to see the house full with a lot of people there to support these young people.
Marti, thank you for joining us. Tickets are available at the Palace box office. Please, it's a great show. We've seen some of the rehearsals. We see all the kids around. There's some stories about some of the rehearsals on the site. Thank you for joining us. Till next time.